Brian, Atlanta Hot Tub Center, and today on Tub Talk 101, what I want to talk about is the best way to maintain your at-ease system. The last video that we did, we're going to be deleting it here shortly because there were a couple of things in that video that weren't quite clear. And I got some questions on that video. And so what I did is I went to the engineering team of the at-ease system. I went to the engineering team of SUNDANCE to really dig in to exactly how this is engineered so that I can present it in such a way that people, for one, understand it, and I'm also giving you the correct information. So the first and foremost thing that I really want to talk about, guys, are these cartridges. And the biggest question was, after we did the last video, is do these cartridges need to be submerged in water? In other words, does the water have to completely cover this cartridge? Well, the answer is actually no, and I'll kind of tell you why. So these are really more of air holes opposed to holes that are being sucked through, right? Because when you take this and you submerge it with water, if there were no air holes up here, then the chlorine wouldn't submerge inside of this cartridge, you see? So as you can see, as I'm submerging it, you can see the air bubbles coming out. Of course, this cartridge is filling up with water, right? And that's what needs to happen, right? Because once you fill these cartridges and the chlorine submerged, when the circulation pump side of this is on, it is going to suck through the bottom of the cartridge. Doesn't matter if these are covered or not. Now, if they are covered, ultimately at the end of the day, then, it's going to do the same thing, right? It's still filling the cartridges. You can see the air bubbles coming up, but you got to have those air bubbles there so that we can fill these cartridges up. So I was slightly wrong when it comes to that, but whether it's covered or not, it doesn't make a difference as long as what's inside of this cartridge is covered with water. Okay, now, the rest of the stuff that we talked about in the video, guys, is basically the same. Remember, you have your Nature 2 and you have your chlorine. Your chlorine's your silver cartridge, the Nature 2 is the blue cartridge. The chlorine cartridge needs to be replaced every 28 days or once a month, and the silver cartridge needs to be replaced every, the blue cartridge needs to be replaced every 4 months. Okay, now it's still important that once a month, right? Because again, your chlorine cartridge is a once a month deal. You need to throw it away and put it in another cartridge. But one time in between that month, you want to shut this cartridge down, and you really just want to hold it over the water and just shake it up a little bit. And I say do that just because at the bottom of this cartridge, sometimes a little bit of chlorine can kind of build up right there, and it just kind of keeps the nice flow of chlorine coming, dispersing into your water. But remember, all this stuff is as needed, guys. Like our tubs here in the showroom, we don't ever really do anything to them. We do maintain our pH, right? Because this is one problem that we do have, but this is across the board, whether you're using the at-ease system or not. Guys, if you're not maintaining your pH levels inside of your hot tub, your chlorine's not going to be effective, nor are any other chemicals, because the water can be acidic and such. So the thing is a lot of times people get the at-ease system and they're like, okay, at ease, I don't have to do anything. No, you still really got to maintain those pH levels, because if you don't, then the chemical, the chlorine, won't be effective in the water, and your water may end up turning green or foamy or so forth. So it's really, really important to maintain your pH levels in the water. And then remember this too, you should never have to set your cartridge really at 6 or 7, unless it's like heavy usage, right? Like 3, 4, or 5, 3 to 5. If you're using it 4 or 5 times a week, you might want to have it set at 5. But if you've got this thing set at 4 and you're still not dispersing enough chlorine into the water, you really need to look at your filter cycles, right? Because as you can see, this is on the circulation pump side of the filter, which is how this system works. And so if you set your primary filtration to 20 hours, that means 20 hours a day, we're going to pull water by these cartridges, dispersing chlorine into the water. If you need less chlorine into the water, you may want to set it 8 or 12 hours. You may even want to set it at 24 hours if right? If you're using it nonstop all the time, right? So it's not just set these cartridges in the water and forget about it. You really still need to maintain your pH. You need to look at your filter cycles if you're having an issue with it. And those are the two things that we really see, but quite frankly, you should be doing that anyway. It doesn't matter what hot tub you have. Yes, the At Ease system makes it so you don't have to go out and add chlorine or all the time to it. But no matter what hot tub you have, you got to maintain the pH levels. So anyway, this is Brian, Atlanta Hot Tub Center, and the best way to maintain your At Ease system. Thank you.